It's safe to say Super Smash Bros. Is overloaded with so many characters to the point these days it's hard to even decide who to choose. So what's better than to sit back and beg for even more? Today, I'm gonna go over the characters that I think should have been in the Super Smash Bros. Series. I'm gonna be choosing a selection of characters for each Super Smash Bros. Game, keeping the release date and time period in mind. And to ensure this video isn't like 2 hours long, I'm gonna be limiting myself to only 3 characters per game. And if a character was introduced to the series at a later point, then they will not be making the list. So as much as I think King K. Rool, for example, should have been in Brawl, he isn't gonna be on here.
Okay.
So with all that said, let's get right into it. Now, starting out with Super Smash Bros. 64, I decided to choose James Bond, Meowth from Pokemon, and Geno from Super Mario RPG. Now, James Bond was actually planned, or at least considered to be in Melee, which is, I guess, cool, but if he was ever considered at all, why not be on the console his game was from? It would be a pretty insane character choice, but he was a very iconic character of the Nintendo 64 era because of GoldenEye 007. And we have seen gun users work later into the series, so it wouldn't have been a bad choice whatsoever. And I'm also choosing Meowth from Pokemon because not only was he actually planned for Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, but he would have served as amazing promotional material for the at the time new Pokemon TV series that was going on. And finally, Geno from Super Mario RPG. Now, Geno was, again, considered for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and people still beg for him to this day. But I personally believe that if he was to be in any Super Smash Bros. Game, it would be Super Smash Bros. 64. I feel like it would have been an amazing way to advertise his, at the time, recent Super Mario RPG game, which was stuck on a dying console. Having him appear in a game like Brawl wouldn't make any sense, since at that point he was irrelevant for like 12 years. Now, Super Smash Bros. Melee is a weird one because my choices here are Excitebike, Conquer, and Bomberman. Now, I'm choosing Excitebike simply because he would have fit very well with the legacy characters introduced to that game at the time. And I'm also choosing Conquer because his game was very new at the time of Melee's release. I mean, I will say the Rareware acquisition stopped any chances of this happening, but it's still a pretty nice pipe dream. His moveset would have been very cool. And as for Bomberman, he is a character with a pretty decent moveset, and the Bomberman series was doing a lot better around the time of Melee's release, whereas after the failed reboot, any chances of him being in Smash just kind of fell off. I feel like he's a pretty important third-party character that could have been introduced earlier onto the series. Now it's time for my personal favorite Super Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now for Brawl, I'm going with Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 4, Nintendog, and Chibi Robo. I'm picking Leon Kennedy simply because Resident Evil 4 was wildly popular on the GameCube at the time, and if a Resident Evil rep was ever going to be in any Smash game, it would absolutely have to be Brawl because of its gritty, photorealistic nature. Leon would fit perfectly right next to Snake. I actually have a similar yet different reasonings for Nintendog. Nintendog would fit perfectly in Brawl's art style since it's practically a photorealistic dog, but also the fact that at the time of Brawl's release, Nintendog was genuinely one of Nintendo's most popular franchises, even outselling Pokemon. Now, Nintendog was considered for Brawl, but probably scrapped because of, well, reasons. Anyways, I feel like Chibi Robo would have also benefited greatly from being added to Brawl because it was Nintendo's newest IP at the time, and in desperate need of promotions at that, being stuck on a dead console and all. So had Chibi Robo been in Brawl to promote the series and also bring a pretty unique moveset, we might be seeing more games from the series today. Now, Super Smash Bros. 4 is where my choices start to get a little boring, but for Smash Bros. 4, I'm going with Rayman, Crash Bandicoot, and Shadow the Hedgehog. Rayman and Crash I'd want to be in for similar reasons. I feel like Smash 4 was a game for third-party platformer characters to be in, since we also got Mega Man, Pac-Man, and at the time, the unexpected return of Sonic. And I also feel like it would have been a great way to promote Rayman's new game at the time, and maybe even shed light on the Crash Bandicoot franchise, since before the Insane Trilogy released, it was pretty dead. And of course, I chose Shadow because I feel like it would have been a great way to continue on the Sonic hype from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now for the final game in the series, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. For Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm going with Master Chief, Dr. Eggman, and of course, Waluigi. Master Chief I feel like should have been in because Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was the ultimate third-party character game.
That's not funny!
And I feel like having Microsoft's flagship series would have been an extremely cool choice. And he would have served as the best gunslinger in the entire series, in my opinion. It also helps that we already got two Microsoft characters, those being Banjo and Steve, so why not pave a little room for the greatest of all time? Now, Dr. Eggman was a pretty easy choice for me because he would have fit very nicely with the whole every hero needs a villain motto Smash Ultimate was going for with King K. Rool, Sephiroth, and of course, at last, I got Waluigi. It's hard to ignore, but the hype behind this character around the time of Smash Ultimate's run was unprecedented. You got people speculating he was going to be in the game because of chairs. Fucking chairs! But of course, I'd personally want him in because he is the Mario character to use as representation of the sports and party side of the Mario franchise. Imagine him just throwing around Mario Party dice or whacking characters with tennis rackets. It's a dream, man. It's a dream. And there you have it, the characters that should have been in Super Smash Bros. It was extremely difficult to decide on just 3 characters per game, which is why I'd be more than interested in seeing what characters you guys would pick in the comments. If it's true that Smash Bros. Will come back for the Switch too, then I'd really hope these characters finally get the chance they deserve. With that all said, I will see you guys next time.
Damn it! I forgot Bubsy and Brawl.